Hello and welcome into a Friday edition of the Computer America Show. Ben and I are going to be starting the program in about 2 minutes. We've got a great program planned for you. We're going to be talking about, in the first hour,
2 minutes until showtime.
Backing up your computer. And with our guest tonight from LC Technology International, and how that can obviously save you from catastrophic situations. And also in hour 2, we're going to do Computer and Technology News, brought to you by Slimware Utilities, the official optimization software of Computer America. So sit back, relax, enjoy the show, and we'll be starting about a minute and a half.
One minute until showtime.
So I'm guessing you didn't come up with a DIY topic?
Nope. Stand by.
Your show will go live in 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1.
Broadcasting live, it's America's longest-running national radio talk show on computers, Computer America, hosted by national columnist Craig Crossman. Look for Craig's weekly column in your favorite newspaper. This show is being beamed nationwide at ComputerAmerica.com. Keep it here for technology news, computer products, guest interviews, and your phone calls. You're listening to Computer America.
Hello and welcome into the Computer America Show. It's the nation's longest-running, nationally syndicated radio talk show on computers. Computer America is heard around the world and coast to coast. And I'm your host, Craig Crossman.
And I'm your co-host, Ben.
And it's Friday!
Yeah!
Yes. As they say, another week of broadcasting excellence in the can. And, the week just flew on by. And, of course, we're doing our do-it-yourself shows because it's February is Do-It-Yourself Month, and we've had a number of topics. Not sure what we're going to do tonight. We may do some computer and technology news, but, that we still have plenty to talk about.
Maybe the DIY segment will be about backing up.
Oh, okay. Actually, that's a good point. Maybe we'll do yeah, maybe we'll see. Okay. How do they say? In order to move forward, first you have to back up. Okay.
No, they don't say that.
They don't say that. Okay.
No.
Anyhow, we've got as I said, we have a good show planned for you. Whatever we're going to do in the second hour would be news or DIY. It's going to be brought to you by Slimware Utilities. They are the official optimization software of Computer America. And we've got any good movies coming out this week? Yeah, I think is it Jupiter Ascending is coming out.
With Mila Kunis and
Channing Tatum. Yeah,
there you go.
Exactly. Yeah. That sounds like a movie I'd like to see.
Seems like a very generic, just a very generic sci-fi adventure. It's not, like, I don't think it's going to make its own universe, and it's not going to be the next Star Wars, but, hey, if you're just sitting there thinking, I wish I had some new science fiction to watch.
Well, there it is.
It seems like the kind of thing.
Yeah. Well, they postponed it from last year, It was supposed to be on, because some of the big movie came out, they decided to postpone it, and so it wouldn't compete.
Yep.
Yeah, the business is doing it. Anyway, if you have a comment, question, or suggestion for our guest tonight or anything we're going to be talking about, give us a call, 347-884-8881. That's 347-884-8881. We'll get you on and get you through. Email. We have a special email inbox set up when we're live and on the air. It is live, L-I-V-E, at computeramerica.com. Okay, see how that works? You can also join us in our live interactive Computer America chat room. From our homepage at computeramerica.com, just click the button right there in the center of the screen that says chat and live video. Actually, it's to the right of the screen, but it's under the interact with the show. And when you do that, you'll get a split screen. On the left-hand side will be the form to register for our chat room. It just asks for a username. That's the name you'll be known by when you go in there. Click the connect button, and your browser will move you into the chat room. We also have some IRC clients in there, a little button that will take you to a free software page, and it just formats the chat room nicely. And if you plan to use a chat room more frequently, you might want to use that, but it's completely optional. And then on the right-hand side of the screen is our live interactive, actually it's not interactive, it's one way, but our live Computer America video streaming page. That's right, because not only can you listen to Computer America, you can also watch the show. So it'll just start up automatically, and you can sit back and watch the program. You can see me, Ben. Sometimes you can see the guests as well. Or if we're doing a demonstration, you can watch the demonstration on the live video streaming page. The show we did with Easy Robots, the beginning of the week, that was very cool because you could actually watch little robots and how you're able to construct them and pull them apart. So, but that's there for you if you want to do that. So, anything else before we get started, Ben, that you want to mention?
Anything else? No, I think we're good to go.
Okay, well, let's bring our first hour guest on. LC Technology International's in-depth knowledge of recovering data led to the development of Forensic Utility Suite. This first of its kind software is designed to allow forensic and computer crime professionals to effectively recover data. LC Technology International is a global leader in data recovery whose mission is designed to help clients resolve catastrophic problems. Now, LC Technology International maintains the highest quality standards with award-winning customer service and support, as noted by the many awards and articles in the media. Now, joining us this hour is David Zimmerman, the CEO, President, and Founder of LC Technology International. Dave, welcome into Computer America. How are you, sir?
I'm doing great, Ben. Craig, how are you guys doing tonight?
Well, as I said, it's Friday night. Well, I thought, it's movie night.
Yes.
Well, it's interesting because we have a lot of undercurrent mantras here on the Computer America show, and I've always said that it's not if your hard drive is going to fail, it's when it's going to fail, because sooner or later these devices something's going to happen to them, and if you rely 100% on these devices, you're running the risk of losing a lot of information, especially all your hard work. Now, the software, the programs that you buy and that sort of thing, that's one thing. You always have copies of those from the original shrink wrap or the boxes where you get it from. But the work that you do, the pictures that you take, the music that you have, whatever it is, all the work that you've done, that's the thing that's very, in many cases, it's not replaceable, and you really need to have backups. And we always say, just don't wait until it happens. Don't learn the hard way, But then we'll say, we hear it time and time again, and people will say, I'll say, why don't you do it? He says, well, I don't know how to do it, or it's just a lot of extra work, or that
it costs too much money, or it's too complicated. And trust me, we hear from people who have just their little laptop, and we hear from sometimes like even big musicians, multimillionaires, will have all their photos on one computer, and it gets destroyed. And then it doesn't matter who you are, how much money you have, what have you. You should back up.
Yeah, because it can cost a lot. In most cases, it's going to cost you a lot of money to retrieve the data, if it's even retrievable. And some people, you can spend hundreds, if not thousands, of dollars in data recovery. which is your expertise. So why don't you, Dave, give us a little background on what LC Technology does?
We make utilities for both Windows and Mac users that allow them to actually do the recovery on any of their devices, whether it's a computer, flash cards, USB drives, external hard drives, any type of storage device. And it's the amount of data that people carry around with them now. It used to be years ago you had one computer, all your data was there. Now you've got digital cameras, you've got your cell phone with your micro SD cards in there. You carry around a number of flash drives. You run out of space in your computer, so you get an external hard drive and you start copying your data over to that. So sooner or later, something is going to happen to somebody. Whether you accidentally format your card in your camera, your kid or your cat knocks your external hard drive off the table. You get hit with lightning and a power surge that fries your computer. There's a lot of different reasons that people lose data, and obviously the more devices you have, the higher your odds are that it's going to happen to you at some point in time.
Well, you're obviously in the middle of this. You're the CEO, the president and founder of this company. I mean, would you agree with what I say? I said it's not if your hard drive will fail, it's when it's going to fail.
Correct. Everything has a lifespan. Yeah. Some more than others. I mean, you can get a brand new hard drive directly out of the box, plug it in, and 2 weeks later it'll die. And you can get one that will run for 15 years. You just don't know. Statistically, things happen, and when you look at the MTBF, or the mean time between failures, typically it's 15, 20 years, but that's under ideal conditions, nothing going wrong. Then again, brand new things can die on you, within a week or a month or a year.
That's true. You never know. I mean, the mean time between failure is just a guideline, under ideal, as you say, under ideal circumstances. It's not a warranty. It's not a. And it's even, they say, oh, we warranty our hard drives for a year or even 2 years. Well, great, so that's the hard drive isn't the problem. It's the data.
It's the data.
They're not going to warranty the data on it. They say, oh, we'll just get you into a brand new drive. Well, sure, but
exactly.
Exactly. So, and I mean, you hear things. I hear that time and time again. He says, oh, I don't need the backup because my hard drive has a warranty on it. And I go, okay. Let me explain how this works.
Right, exactly.
But people, it's just amazing. Now, granted, people are becoming much more computer savvy because, let's face it, the computers are everywhere today. Everybody has one. It's become, gone are the days for hobbyists, that type of thing. And now people are using them. They're like appliances, like they're toasters, they have their computers. And they rely on it and they use it on a daily basis. Most people now do that. So I think people are becoming more cognizant of it. Yet still, you see this resistance. You mentioned a couple of things. What are some of the most common ways people lose data? And you mentioned lightning strikes and it's just. I mean, it can happen. There are a lot. These are any other common ways that people lose data other than lightning and.
Well, it used to be viruses years ago. We don't really see a lot of that as much as we used to 10, 15 years ago. Now you've got a lot of other problems. A lot of people are using portable storage, USB drives, plugging them in and out over and over and over, hitting it with your leg while it's sitting in there, shearing the head off the board, cracks in the circuit boards. I mean, there's a lot of different types of problems now. Especially with, cameras and video, and you'll get people that'll shoot video onto an SD card. HD video takes up a lot of space. Just because you hit stop on the camera doesn't mean that it has stopped recording and writing to the card. So you get people that eject the media before it's done writing. There's a lot of different reasons that things happen.
And you mentioned solid state because flash memory, these SD cards. I mean, the way the data started is not like it was, with magnetic hard drives. The data is actually stored. It's a different technology.
Right.
And but even they are subject to to data loss, as you say.
Yeah.
Someone pulls a card out while it's still writing to it. I mean, that can corrupt the data on it. There are a lot of things that can go wrong. Albeit less. The solid state is. We were talking to one of our tech people, Mike Cermak, on Wednesday. And he feels that like in about 5-10 years, magnetic hard drives are going to be pretty much toast. It'll be used, for enterprise backup where somewhere, but for everybody else,
Right.
because you're starting to get into terabytes now on solid state drives, and the prices are coming way down. So in the next 5 years. Yeah, we're going to see that happening, but that doesn't make you still need to back up the stuff that's on your hard drive. You have to make backups, not only local backups, but you also have to make off-site backups too.
Yeah.
I mean, why don't you tell us what are some of the appropriate steps one should take, to protect their data, and then or when they realize that they just lost some important files, what do they do?
Well, I mean, for protecting data, a lot of things are getting automated now. Most of your phones are set to automatically back up your pictures to the cloud. It's not a difficult thing to do. I wouldn't say to rely on that 100%, but it is a good place to store things and even back up clouds from one cloud to another cloud as well, because clouds do have, there is a possibility that they can go down too. It's happened before.
Wow.
Having a backup plan, knowing what your data is, putting it someplace else, even important files. Personally, I keep all my stuff on replicated on notebooks, desktops. A lot of my important files, I put on USB drives, store them. I have them at home. I have them in the office. I carry some things with me in my bag. There's a lot of ways you can go ahead and protect yourself, and also using third-party utilities that can monitor the health of your storage device as well. Monitor the smart technology that's built into your drive, so if your drive is starting to log errors, you can have at least enough time to try and get your data off it before you have a physical failure. There's a number of backup utilities that you can use to in a corporate environment to back up your data to your servers, incremental backups. But backing up is a good thing to do. But every once in a while, you should test your backup plan as well and try and restore and see if it actually works. A lot of people do back up, and then they think they're covered, and then they go ahead and try and restore, and all of a sudden the restore failed. Their backup wasn't working properly.
Yeah, and you mentioned there are all kinds of different backups too. There's full backups, there are incremental backups, and you might get into that. But
wait, what do you mean you have to check your backup? Don't people just naturally have a backup for their backup for their backup? So
you
simple.
would think so. But being in this industry, I started back in data recovery in 1997, and even a couple of years before that, I started playing around with a few things. But you'd be surprised. I mean, it happens to. I don't know a lot of people that haven't lost data.
Right.
And some of the things that we do, we do make utilities for companies like SanDisk. So if you buy some of the higher end SanDisk products, we make a product for them called Rescue Pro, and I'm sure we've got tens of millions of customers out there that use these products. It just happens. Handling devices is an important thing. Be careful of as well. Especially in drier climates with static electricity. When you're dealing with solid state and flash memory, there are some additional risks as well.
Now we're talking about all the things that you should do, but Dave, are there any particular things that somebody should not do?
Well, it depends on the individual a lot of times. Some people are savvy enough that they will go ahead and try and do this, try and recover their files on their own. There are a lot of utilities that are out there that are, designed for end users to make it a simple thing to do. If it's really important things, you really don't, if you're not sure, take it out. don't use the device, call somebody, call the manufacturer, ask them what to do. Who do they recommend if you do have to send it to somebody? You don't want to make matters worse by trying to do something on your own if you're not sure you have the skills to do it.
Now, how do you go about finding help if you have if you've lost something, and what kind of questions do you ask them to see if they're qualified?
Well, are they endorsed by any of the manufacturers? There's typically, I would recommend, if you have a computer, and you're using a Dell, call Dell, ask them. They'll direct you to somebody that they feel are qualified. If you don't know, there's a lot of people that may think that they know what they're doing, but it's data's an important thing. You want to be able to trust somebody that is familiar with solving these types of problems on a regular basis, because there are quite a few different things that can happen, and it's not a repetitive thing that happens all the time. So you gotta deal with people that are used to dealing with these types of problems in the first place.
Now, I've gone to the LC Technology International website and just looking at something on the PC, and it looks to me like, as you say, you have products that is LC Technology deals in data recovery. Do you require do you give people the software? Do they send the hard drive to you? I mean,
we do both. Yeah.
Okay.
We do both. We make utilities that people can use on their own, but then you do get a lot of times where it's not possible. We actually have labs where we actually take memory chips off circuit boards, put them into custom sockets that we build, and image the memory chips and pull data directly out of that. There is electronic failure on some devices, and it's you plug it in, it just doesn't even show up. So you don't have the ability to try and use a utility to try and get your files back. It has to be sent to somebody.
Now, do you deal with recovery for magnetic hard drives or solid state drives, or do you deal with both?
Both. Any type of storage media, whether it's even CDs and DVDs. Not just hard drives, but any type of storage media.
Not floppy disks, though.
Yeah. And actually, we got some 5 1/4-inch floppy disks in from somebody. I don't know, about a month ago.
What part of the world were they from? I mean,
somebody had found them, and they were just sitting around. They didn't know what was on them. They didn't have the drive to read them, so they sent them to us to transfer the files off of them onto something that they could, onto a flash drive.
Oh my gosh!
But but that's the type. You have to have, access to different types of. You think back, we used to use jazz drives, zip drives,
SideQuest drives,
SideQuest, exactly.
Bernoulli boxes. I mean,
yeah.
You go all everything just up to the. It's just amazing that I mean, I remember the 5 1/4-inch, and I remember the 8-inch floppies. So that goes way back, and yet people, I remember finally when I had held on to the floppy drive for a long time, and they just said, that's it. I'd gotten everything and basically had moved on because I knew everything that was on there was stuff that I could no longer use. But I guess somebody finds floppies and says, I wonder what's on it.
I wonder what's on it. Yep.
But I mean, how expensive is it to use your data recovery service like that? I mean, you suspect that there was something very valuable. I mean, can it cost a lot of money just to see what it is?
Well, we do things a little bit different, because of the relationships with some of the manufacturers that we support. We have set pricing, so somebody with up to a 2 gig flash device will pay like $125, you know, and then we increment about $25, you know, so, you know, 150 would be for a 4, and then an 8 would be 175, and so on.
Mm-hmm.
When you get into hard drives with physical problems, yeah, you're talking a couple of $1,000s.
So you better know that what's on that hard drive is going to die.
Well, yeah, definitely. But typically you do. You know, if somebody loses a drive, typically there's a lot of information that's on it, and you know they wouldn't even consider sending it out to somebody and spending a couple of $1,000s if the information wasn't worth it.
Now, do you get the information back in a form that they can use on a computer, or is it just a printout and you can re-enter it again? Huh?
Yeah, original files. You know, I mean, regardless of the type of storage media that the files are kept on, you know, files are files. A Word document's a Word document, whether it's on a floppy drive, a zip drive, a hard drive, any type of storage device. So
if it's spreadsheet information, what have you, Excel files, you can recover them, unless of course the hard drive is crashed and you only get part of the file back, right? And then
that sometimes happens, yes. And you know, hard drives are a little bit different as well because they scatter the data all over the disk. Typically, flash writes sequentially, so you know, recovering files is a little bit different on flash than it is on spinning media. But you do have issues where you know you only have if you get technical, you get into cluster sizes and how big the file is and how many, you know, where is it going to put this file? It doesn't fit in all in one place, so it is fragmented, you know, throughout the file system. So typically, big files are usually more of a problem than smaller files are.
And when you say more of a problem, that translates to being more expensive to recover,
or irrecoverable.
Do you get that often? I mean, how often do you get somebody sending you a drive? Maybe the platter won't rotate. You know, so they have to remove the platter from the motor itself. But the platter, but do you get to a point where you just can't recover it? And does it happen very often?
They shipped you a hard drive with like a steak knife right through it, and you're like,
you know, but you know, there are ways to still get data off of that. You know, maybe not entire files, but depending on what it is you're looking for, who you are, and you know, when you get into the law enforcement and the forensic side of things, I mean, they're looking for little bits and pieces of anything. They don't really care. You know, whereas, you know, smaller files are, you know, easily recoverable. There could be multiple copies of the file on the drive. You know, it is a little bit different. It depends on the size of the file. That has a lot to do with it as well for recovery.
Can you talk a little bit about? I mean, you don't have to talk about specific cases, obviously, but can you tell us about some interesting cases where, you know, law enforcement needed to give something, or what you had to do to get it back? I mean, I think you can kind of tell us about that.
Well, you know, we used to do a lot of that work, and years ago, we used to build a lot of forensic equipment for law enforcement and forensic labs, and do a lot of training for the law enforcement type people. They don't typically share that type of information with people like us. They just use us to get the equipment and the tools to do their job, but they don't really get into a lot of details on what exactly it is that they're doing. But you know, we've had, you know, cards come in that had been burned up in space shuttle. We've had a lot of cards that have come in from underwater cameras that have gotten salt water into them that have started to corrode. You know, we get a lot of different things in. You know, like I was saying, one of the things that we do is we support SanDisk. We're responsible for doing their data recovery on a global basis. So we have a lab here, we have a lab over in Europe as well. And, you know, we get devices, you know, 20, 30, 40 devices in daily from, you know, all over the place, from professional photographers through weddings, mom and dads, you name it, just about anybody nowadays. You know, everybody is using something to store data on. So.
Well, it's interesting. So a myriad of people are using it, as you say, from people who are taking wedding photos, or law enforcement. You certainly have a wide variety of clientele.
Yeah.
Typically, what comes? You get about 20. How many drives come in on a daily basis?
Our focus is primarily on flash. We do get quite a few hard drives in, but the majority of the people that we help out with hard drives are typically using software that we make and doing it themselves. They have, accidentally deleted, emptied the recycle bin, accidentally formatted the wrong drive, simple things like that. Typically, when it comes to physical failures, we don't actually take drives apart ourselves.
Okay.
We also work with some other companies that do make that do data recovery, like OnTrack. I think a lot of people are probably familiar with them. We also make their data recovery products for them as well. Physical failures, we sell utilities and make utilities that do predictive failure analysis, that monitor the smart technology in both, spinning drives as well as SSDs as well, the solid state drives.
All right. I see you make a number of software products, and I'd like to talk a little bit about them. I have a feeling that your battery is dying or something, because
yes.
And we hear that horrible hum. But
I know.
We'll make do with it. That's okay. So when we come, let's talk a little bit about the actual products that you make. I know you have one called Photo Recovery. I guess that's for photo recovery. You have data recovery, file recovery repair. Let's talk a little bit about these different products and what they do. But I'll tell you what, we're gonna take a little break, Dave, and then
Okay.
we'll continue on with this. Okay.
Sure.
In the meantime, you're listening to the Computer America Show on the Blog Talk Radio Network, on the IRN Radio Network, and the Boost Radio Network. Ben and I are talking to David Zimmerman. He is the CEO, President, and founder of LC Technology International. Again, if
Also,
you have
remember, in the second hour, we're going to have a show reminder winner of the week.
Oh, yes, that's right. It's Friday. I totally forgot about that. Yes, show reminder winner. That's coming up as well. So you're listening to the Computer America Show. We also have another News Tips Bulletin review from Marty Winston. Got to mention that, too. All that coming up. Stay with us. You're listening to Computer America.
Hey everyone, have you heard about the No Hair Removal device that's sweeping the globe? If you want to go weeks without shaving and get smooth, professional quality results, here's our favorite host, Cheryl, for No Hair Removal.
Thanks. Hey gals, I love talking about my No. It's this cute little hair removal system that you can take with you and use almost anywhere at home or on the road. No more expensive in-office treatments, painful waxing, and no more wasting your valuable time. Got unwanted facial hair? No has patented Thermocon technology that works on all hair and skin colors, so it's perfect for using on all body parts. And now you can take advantage of this incredible risk-free trial. Get the No, the facial kit, a travel case, and a $100 discount shopping card, and you don't risk a penny to try it. Try the incredible No hair completely risk-free. Call 1-800-953-5415. That's 800-953-5415. 800-953-5415.
Hi, this is Craig Crossman, host of the Computer America Show. You have important meetings to schedule. Your company's getting ready for its IPO, and you're in charge of the PTA fundraiser this month. So how do you coordinate everyone to be available at the same time? Are you still using emails, phone calls, even text messages to schedule meetings with a group of people? How's that working out for you? Not so great, huh? It's a fact that every day, millions of people suffer from scheduling headaches. Well, with Doodle, scheduling meetings with a group of people is quick and easy. With Doodle, you can easily propose available times to each member. Each one checks off the times that they are available, and then you simply pick the time that works best for the group, all in an easy-to-read display that integrates with your existing calendar. Nothing could be more simple. Give Doodle a try for free, and like millions of Doodle users, you'll truly see how easy it is to find the perfect date and time for all your meetings. That's www.doodle.com.
Tag, you're it. This is Marty Winston with a News Tips Bulletin Review for Computer America.
This time, the Pioneer BDP-80FD Blu-ray player. Blu-ray keeps evolving, but we don't pay enough attention to it, so we asked to get the Pioneer BDP-80FD Blu-ray player in for review. Its decoders cover most of the video and audio specs you'd expect, including 3D. Its output is HDMI and won't send signals to a non-HDCP, that's copy protection respective device, like some computer monitors. It has a USB input for playing stored video and a wired Ethernet port for playback from across the network, or YouTube, or Picasa content. What you most want to know, it's easy, mostly a no-brainer. Easy to use, and playback quality is excellent. Bottom line, a Pioneer BDP-80FD Blu-ray player handles a 2D or 3D disc, file, or stream like a dream. This is Marty Winston with a News Tips Bulletin Review for Computer America.
Welcome back to the Computer America Show. It is 33 minutes past the hour. We are talking to David Zimmerman, who is from LC Technology International. And before we jump into the products and what exactly LC Tech has to offer, we actually have a caller who with a question for David.
Okay. His name is Lucas. He's listening to us in North Carolina. Computer America, Craig Crossman. Hi, Lucas.
Hey, I was wondering if I can ask a question for David.
Sure, go ahead. He's listening.
I was wondering, do you, when you, install something, when you're doing files and the downloads on Windows 8, do you mostly put it into the recycle bin? If you're deleting things, does it pretty much help when you put it in the recycle bin and then delete it?
If you put it in the recycle bin and then delete it, technically the information is no longer on the computer and the space is available, but if somebody wanted, you still can try and recover that file.
Yeah, basically, Lucas, all it does, the operating system marks those sectors for available for deletion, so the next time it needs space, it can use them. But actually, that information is still lying there on the drive. It's just flagged for that it can be overwritten. But until it's overwritten, it can be retrieved, and that's why if you want to securely delete something, then you might want to use a utility that will go out and actually overwrite those using DoD, Department of Defense standards to zeros and ones. It actually writes over the file.
Yeah, exactly. I had once a Acer Aspire, and got it for Christmas, and it was just slow like molasses, where it would freeze and it would still go, but it's just where that computer is able to run and work. It's just now I give up.
Well,
but then that's why I upgraded. It had Windows 7 Starter. I don't know why, but now I upgraded to 8.
Okay.
And I got a new laptop. The new one is a HP Stream 11.
Well, and Windows 10 is not that far away. You might want to check that out too. But Lucas, listen. Hopefully we're able to help you, and thanks for calling the show. And keep listening, okay?
All right. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
347-884-8881 will get you on and get you through. Ben and I are talking to David Zimmerman. He's the CEO, president, founder of LC Technology International. And so we were just going to start talking about some of the programs and the products that you actually make for recovery. And one of them is called Photo Recovery. I want to start with that. Okay.
Yeah. We Photo Recovery is a product that we came out with back around 2002 when some of the first smart media cards and digital cameras came out, and it's a simple utility that just allows users to recover photos that they have actually deleted through the camera. You know, people that use digital cameras, a lot of times they will take pictures, the card gets full, and then they'll start scrolling through their camera and looking at pictures that they don't want or don't need and delete them to make room to try and take more pictures. You know, sometimes that causes problems as well. You know, and there's a lot of things that can go wrong with digital cameras. You know, ejecting the card when the camera's not done writing or while it's in use. But for the most part, a lot of times people will, you know, accidentally do a delete all instead of a delete one, and delete all the pictures in there. So, you know, we came out with that product back when the first digital cameras came out. You know, and that's it's a pretty popular program. A lot of people shooting a lot of pictures nowadays.
Now it works with all the different Canon, Nikon, Olympus, GoPro. It works with a lot of the brands. I assume all these brands are using some sort of standard file system that's universal.
Well, you know, the file system on the card is, you know, your basic FAT file system, but you know, a lot of these people have their own custom image formats, RAW formats. They're high resolution images. You know, you have a Nikon RAW, Canon RAW. They're all different types of files. They're all variants of TIFFs, but they, you know, all are a little bit different. So, you know, what we typically do is we, you know, build templates for all these different file types and build them into the software. So a lot of times, sometimes the card will be corrupt and there is no file system, so we have to actually scan raw data to try and find the files and pull them out.
Okay. Now, and that's really independent of what computer you use, all right? You're just getting the data, and then, of course, whatever your computer you're using, you can download the information to and from your PC or your Mac, or does it require a particular kind of computer you use?
No, Windows or Mac, and all you do is, you know, typically if your camera doesn't show up as a removable device, you just take the memory card out and put it in a card reader and plug it into your PC or Mac. Okay.
And then the next product you have, and actually you have two of them. You have one called File Recovery, and then you have one called File Recovery.
Repair It.
Repair. It looks like Repair IT.
Yeah.
What's the difference between these two file recovery programs?
Well, file recovery is for recovering individual files on a computer, whether it's, you know, again, Windows, Mac, any type of hard drive, any operating system, RAIDs as well. Repair It is a little bit different. It's typically for non-booting systems that are corrupt. That it's an automated type utility that will boot off of a CD and reconstruct the boot sector, the partition table, the file table, and all that type of stuff.
So Repair It is actually the stronger of the two. In other words, if your computer won't boot at all, then you need to use the file recovery Repair It.
Correct.
First.
Yes.
Okay. And you know, it's interesting. How does a consumer know which one to get? Do they call your company and speak to a tech person before they buy it, or?
That happens quite a bit. You know, we have trial versions of all of our products. You can find pretty much anywhere on the internet. Download them. You know, we do have, you know, a number of support people that spend their days talking to people, walking them through how to use the products. You know, typically when somebody loses data, they come to our site, they fill out a form, they download the software, and within about 15 to 10, 15, 20 minutes, depending on the time of the day, you've got one of our inside support people following up either by email or by phone, trying to help them, you know, use the software and find the files that they're looking for.
Now this next one, Lucas, who just called, was going to be really interested in, because this is what we were talking about. It's something called File Extinguisher. because again, people say, "Oh, I deleted the file and it's gone," and you know, and they don't get it back, and that's not the case, right?
That's correct.
All you've done is told the operating system that those sectors are available if it needs to overwrite, but that information, until it does that, that information stays there, correct?
Correct. The data stays there until it's overwritten. And, you know, typically when you delete files, all it does is the file table thinks that the file's gone, but the data really is still there until it gets actually overwritten. And even if it is overwritten, on hard drives, there are ways to get data back that has been partially overwritten. Now, when you get to flash, that's completely different. When you overwrite flash, it's gone. But hard drives, there is some technology that some people can use, especially in the law enforcement area, to go down multiple layers into the disk platter to try and
they find a ghost image. I've heard some of this ghost technology that they can use. It gets very, very spooky. No pun intended, but again, you find this information that you think that you went. But now, if you use something like File Extinguisher, though, can you be comfortable that when you delete your file, it stays deleted?
Yes, it does a number of write patterns, and that's typically for hard drives, not for flash. So on hard drives, I think there's about 15 different methods, zeros, patterns, number of passes. That product will do single files as well as directories. It's pretty good. And then there's another utility called Disk Extinguisher, where that'll do an entire disk that will actually wipe the disk before the operating system loads and writes zeros to the entire disk, including all the unallocated space that's on the disk as well.
Now, doesn't the Department of Defense have guidelines, DoD, that they, how many times you overwrite with certain different patterns? Aren't there guidelines for deleting files?
Yes, there are. There are different methods. File Extinguisher supports a number of them, DoD as well as NATO and a few others as well.
Okay. So, all right. So now that's all having to do with the file recovery, and you also have the SanDisk Rescue Pro and Rescue Pro Deluxe.
Yeah, those are products that we make for SanDisk that ship with their Ultra and Extreme products, which are for recovering. They recover hundreds and hundreds of different types of files that people typically carry around on storage devices. Whether they're videos, images, Office documents, archives, Adobe products. There's a database of about 300-400 different file types that we specifically look for and try to recover.
All right. Now, I just want to give people a sampling of all the different products that you offer. Now, later on, today's more modern hard drives use something called SMART technology, self-monitoring analysis reporting technology. It stands for. It's a specification that they came out with, and you have something called IntelliSmart.
Yeah.
What does that do?
No, that just monitors a drive, does predictive failure analysis. It will monitor the health of the drive. You've got a bunch of attributes, especially on hard drives, for read errors, write errors, spin up time, temperature. Each manufacturer has a different set of parameters for their drives and the things that they monitor, and that technology has been in drives almost since they came out. Unfortunately, not a lot of people use it. Which doesn't make a lot of sense to me. But in the enterprise level, there are some utilities that can monitor some of that stuff. But for the average person, they don't seem to pay that much attention to those types of utilities. But it does help. Obviously, if you have something that is warning you that your main storage device in your computer is having errors, you should probably want to know about that.
Yeah. And then you have two different products called that are classified as media doctors. You have Digital Media Doctor and Solid State Doctor. What are those?
Well, Digital Media Doctor is a utility for testing your flash memory devices. Make sure they read properly, they write properly, benchmarks. Unlike hard drives, flash storage also has a lifespan. You can only write to it so many times before you actually deplete the cells that are being written to. The Digital Media Doctor is a test and diagnostic utility, typically for testing cards, making sure that they're functioning properly. The SSD product is a little bit different. SSDs are, gaining a lot of a share. You know, most of your notebooks and mobile devices are all using solid state now as well, and they do require maintenance. There are times when you have to update firmware in your drive. You've got performance-related issues with a thing called trim, which is a file system that in the system not really communicating with each other, letting each other know where available space is. Over provisioning, which allows you to preserve use part of your drive for unallocated space for bad block management, and you also have the ability to do secure erase, which is to wipe the drive as well, so that in the event you go and you sell your notebook, you want to make sure that there is nothing that's on that system when you get to the next person, especially personal confidential information.
Now, we talked about a number of software products that you make. How expensive are these? What are the costs typically?
Typical cost is anywhere from $40 to $60. So they're not that expensive. On the flash-based products for memory cards, USB type drives, typically the products are around $40 to $60. Data recovery from hard drives is around between 70 and 100.
So I guess if you
it sounds.
that's all right. I guess if, let's say, your hard drive fails, do you have ways, or you explain to people how to? Because I'm assuming you can install most of these products on like USB devices, stuff like that. Because if your hard drive fails, you obviously can't just use your computer and load it up. But so you have like USB devices, or do you recommend another?
Yeah, you can run it. You can run it from a USB device. Typically, if it's your main hard drive that's having an issue, normally we would recommend you actually pull the drive out, put it in another machine as a secondary drive, and work on it from a good machine.
Right. Okay, so we're getting close to the end of the hour, David. It seems to me that if you can do this yourself, you're going to be a lot better off than if you have to send it to your company to get it fixed. Am I fairly accurate in that?
Yes. Yeah, and it's not even just that. I mean, it's a privacy issue as well. Do you want to bring your computer to somebody else and let them recover data for you? They're going to probably see everything you have on there.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Can you speak to anything that you've seen that that maybe you shouldn't have, that you can talk about on the air? Or
well, no, we've recovered a lot of personal, especially images, movies, things like that.
Why would they send that to you? What are they thinking?
Well, some people don't care, and if there's a handful of pictures that they don't want anyone to see on there, but then there's thousands that they want everybody to see, they're going to sacrifice those letting somebody see those. There's not much you can do, and you do get a lot of people that thought things that were gone as well, and then we recover things, and we have to wonder, do we really want to send this back to them? I wonder if this is what they were looking for.
How do you handle like that? You say, "Oh, shame on you."
No, you don't say nothing. Put the files, burn them onto a DVD, ship them back to them, and hope they're happy with what they got.
Exactly. Well, I guess it's an interesting side to your business.
It is.
Yeah, exactly. Well, if people want more information about LC Technology, you can always go to their website, and the easiest way to do that, you can go to lc-tech.com, or you can just go to computeramerica.com. If you go to computeramerica.com and you click on our show notes button or page, you'll see today's show, which is the February the 6th, and you'll see David Zimmerman and his title, and then we have a link to the actual LC Technology International website. It's up there, and it's available for you to download. So you can check it out. So if you have some hard drive or data that you can't recover, and this is a great place to go to try to get it and do it yourself before you have to send it out to whomever to get it fixed. Give it a try. See if you can fix it yourself, and more than likely, if it's not a mechanical problem, if it's just a software problem, there's a very good chance that any of these products that David's been telling you about will get your data back for you. And by the way, when you get your data back, don't copy it back to the same drive.
Yeah.
Get another drive, get an external drive. And then I assume that your software won't even allow people to copy the things that's recovered from the bad drive, right? It's going to say, give me the name of the new drive or something. Don't copy it back to the old drive. Copy it to a brand new drive, an external drive. Get the data up. And then get as much as you can, and then toss the old drive because it's toast. Don't trust it again. I mean, I've seen that happen too. It said, "Oh, I got my data back," and I said, "Great. What did you do with the old drives?" "No, I put all the data back on it. It works fine." No, don't do that. You're lucky. Consider yourself fortunate that you were able to get this data. Don't tempt the fates and put it back on the very drive that you lost it on. That makes no sense. Yeah, people.
What are you talking about? There's new tires on it. There's no way the tires could blow again.
Yeah, exactly. And given today's cost of hard drives, you can buy multiple terabyte drives for under $100. I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah, it's getting cheap. Yeah, definitely.
Get a new drive, toss out the old drive when you recover the data, and burn it, get rid of it, toss it out, and that's it. And just count your lucky stars that you were able to get the data in the first place. David, anything else you want to tell our listeners before we say goodnight?
Just be redundant. Make multiple copies of everything that you've got that's important. Keep it on. If you've got more than one computer, make sure there's got a copy of it there. Flash drives are cheap. Take your pictures, copy them, put them aside. I'm sure USB ports are going to be around for quite some time, and use the cloud as much free storage as you're able to get. You can go to Google and you can get free, free storage there. Back up that cloud to another cloud, on your phones. Make sure, you're using, the free things that come with it. Make sure all your pictures are automatically uploaded. Just protect yourself.
Right. Just redundancy is it.
Yeah.
Do the same thing over and over again. Just it's important that you do that.
And then it becomes a habit. And once you've established, those habits, then, your risk is, a little bit lower than most people, than people that aren't practicing that way. So.
No, that makes perfect sense. Well, David, I want to thank you so much for being with us here on the show tonight. Again, very interesting, and again, LC Technology International, and thank you so much for being here with us on the show tonight, David.
Well, thanks for having me on.
All right, you take care. Have a good evening. Good night.
You too.
Good night.
All right, bye-bye. All right, there he goes. Okay, again, LC Technology International, data recovery. We say it here over and over again. It's not if your hard drive will fail, it's when it's going to fail. Well, be prepared.
Yes, but you got to admit the hard drives are getting more and more stable. The technology is really helping out, and really it's like the end of the life cycle comes before any kind of traumatic event. Like you will never take house fires out of the equation. You will never take computers knocked into water out of the equation. You will never take shock to the hard drive out of the equation. But just the hard drives out of the blue crashing, it seems like they have that pretty much licked.
It can still happen, though. It happens.
More rarely than it did 10 years ago.
Yes, they're getting better, but do you want to trust your data to something on that premise? Do you want to do that?
I kind of already do just by having it.
Yeah, I know. Well, let's see. I've got 1, 2, 3. I got 4 hard drives here, and I have the one that's in my computer. It's a 2 terabyte drive, and then I have an external 2 terabyte. I have an external 3 terabyte and an external 4 terabyte drive, and I'm using most of the because I don't have anywhere near the data. I'm using them to make backups of backups of backups. You know, I really do. And then the cloud, and then there's the cloud.
You're paranoid, Craig. You're paranoid.
I'm paranoid. Okay. Well, listen, if you don't have anything important to back up, then it makes sense. I mean, if you're just playing, doing games and stuff, that's not a problem. But if you have data, that's important.
I don't think it's so much that a lot of people don't have important things to back up. I think it's just at this point, everything's in the cloud. It's all backed up on in other places, and thanks to Gmail, heck, I'm doing most of my documents and most of my important work in the cloud, and that's its own form of backup.
Yeah, and I still use Outlook, and I really should stop doing it because I should just use Gmail or do my. I still do it. I use Google Drive. I have files that are backed up on Google Drive, but I still make backups. As a matter of fact, and most of it's automated technology. I do have cloning software. I will sometimes just clone an entire hard drive. Because not only sometimes it's the data, but it's all the work that goes in making that drive, and putting up all the folders where they're supposed to be, and that can take you days to get back. If you have a couple of cloned images, that's a good thing to do because then you can just put it back the way it was before, and then you don't have to worry about all of it. Of course, you have to. There are companies out there that make really good backups. So Acronis really does that an entire image backup, but they let you pull files out and put files back into the image backup. It's amazing. So you don't have to do the whole thing. You can still access individual files from an image backup. They do some amazing stuff there. Of course, with Apple Macintosh, I use Time Machine. That's another great thing. It just basically just does backups. But I still use a product called Super Duper, which does cloning technology, and it's just good to have, and do it every once in a while. It's going to save you a lot of grief in the long run. All right, well, we got computer and technology news coming up here. We got some interesting stories here. What do we got? We've got it wasn't we had Chromecast, and we have so many of these different dongle sticks.
Roku, it's like Chromecast, Apple TV, Roku, and then there was one other one. But yeah, and now there's a Matchstick.
Yeah, now they're gonna have Matchstick, a streaming dongle that's scheduled to ship in February. We're gonna talk about that. Let's see what else we got here. We got a lot of interesting stories. 10 things you should never do to your PC. I can think of 5 things immediately right off the bat. And will unpleasant side effects hold virtual reality back? Okay. And Google's adding a remote lock feature to Chromebook for admins. These stories and more are coming up. Researchers warn of the 0-day vulnerability in Internet Explorer 11. Oh, wow. This is the Computer America Show on the Boost Radio Network, the Blog Talk Radio Network, and the IRN Radio Network. We're going to be right back with those stories and more. Stay with us.
Broadcasting live, it's the only national radio talk show on computers to air every weeknight. Computer America, hosted by national columnist Craig Crossman. The first hour's behind us, but there's still more of tech news, tech talk, and your phone calls. We're being beamed nationwide at ComputerAmerica.com. You got computer problems? Bring them on. You're listening to Computer America. Computers run the world, and we run computers. Call us or send us an email to live@computeramerica.com.
Hello and welcome into Hour 2 of the nation's longest-running, nationally syndicated radio talk show on computers. This is the Computer America Show. This is, right here, this is the Computer America Show, and I'm your host, Craig Crossman.
And I'm your co-host, Ben.
And we just had LC Technology International CEO, president founder, David Zimmerman. Nice guy. On the show, talking about backups and what his company does. And if you missed any portion of that, you can listen to it again. We archive all of our shows here at Computer America. Right under the archive on the top of the screen, any of our screens at ComputerAmerica.com, we have archives of the audio, we have archives of the video, it's archived over Apple's iTunes, we have the Blog Talk Radio feed as well in the archives there. So if you missed any portion of the show, you certainly can listen to it again. Anything that we do here at Computer America, it's all reflected on our website at ComputerAmerica.com. Of course, it's Friday night. That means coming up in Hour 2, we're also going to have our show reminder winner of the week. That's right. We're going to be giving away a Logitech touchpad, glass touchpad, the TC650 glass touchpad Beautiful touchpad. We're going to be giving one of those away to some lucky winner. And that's all coming up in hour 2 of the Computer America show. Also, we have our Logitech contest. This fall. We giving not 1, not 2, but 3 different prizes we give away there. That's the T650 glass rechargeable glass touchpad, by the way. I preferred on that. So somebody's going to be winning that. Let's see what else is happening. And of course, it is February. It's our do-it-yourself month, but we're going to be doing primarily computer news tonight, just because it's Friday night and it's been a long week.
And because we'll be honest with them, Craig. We'll be honest. We couldn't come up with anything. It's hard. We've only been doing it for a week, and we've only had 3 topics because we did have a second-hour guest last night. But we'll promise to have more DIY spread throughout the month. It's just hard to come up with topics. So if you have ideas for topics, you can always send them to us live at computeramerica.com as well.
Yeah, we'd love to hear that. But but also it happens rarely here. But sometimes we have a second-hour guest and she just didn't show up. It turns out her cell phone died or something. But we're rescheduling her for
I mean, I think I'm the last one to say, how dare you let your cell phone die? Because it happens to me all the time. So the fact that it happened to someone else, that's okay.
We need better battery technology. That's what we need here on the show. I mean, because we got all these great gadgets and they're all dying because the batteries keep pooping out.
Well. And there's always the conspiracy side. It's like, well, if there were better batteries, then it would hurt the industry, and yada, yada, yada. And then there's the whole, future technologies just aren't here yet.
How would better batteries hurt technology? I don't get that. I mean, I can understand gas companies, killing electric vehicles or vehicles that run on water because they don't want that. I can understand that, but why would you kill?
Because battery performance is one of the major sellers of phones and any mobile device. Hey, it lasts for 11 hours. Okay, wait. So you have like the Apple iPad 2, and you're thinking, well, it lasts for 6 hours. And then the Apple iPad 3 comes along, and it's like, well, the battery lasts for 8 hours. Like, 2 more hours. My God, that's 25% increase. I can't wait. And it just the small incremental increases the battery and it may not be a big seller for you, but it's definitely a major factor for a lot of people.
We need a nuclear battery. That means it'll have a half-life of 10,000 years. And
yeah, but you know what that means?
What does that mean?
Every Joe Schmo out there is running around with radiation in their pocket.
And you say that like it's a bad thing.
It's a bad thing.
Anyway, 347-884-8881 is the phone number to get you on and get you through. If you have a comment or a suggestion about anything we're talking about tonight, we'd love to hear from you. But I think we should get started and get started the news stories going. Okay, let's do it.
All right.
Tonight's Computer and Technology News is brought to you by Slimware Utilities, the official optimization software of Computer America. You can visit them at slimwareutilities.com to clean, speed up, and optimize your Windows system. You didn't let me finish.
Oh, my bad.
Speed up and optimize your Windows system for... Too late.
Yeah.
For free. Yes, exactly. Yeah. Everything at slimwareutilities.com is completely free. It's not a freemium model. They don't charge you later on. It's all free. They really will clean, speed up, and optimize your Windows system. We do use them here at the Crossman household. They're wonderful. We recommend that you download all of them and make a backup too, by the way. And then keep them on your system, and when you need them, because eventually you will need them, you'll have them readily available. And it's free. So why not do it? You'll be happy that you did, and you'll thank us for it. slimwareutilities.com. And our first news story, we teased it, is Matchstick. Matchstick streaming dongle scheduled to ship in February. Oh no, it gets pushed back to August. Oh yeah, the Matchstick team announced today that they're delaying the release of the Firefox OS-powered HDMI dongle until August of this year. Now, you might remember we told you about Matchstick when it landed on Kickstarter 4 months ago. At the time, the goal was to ship Matchstick to backers in February. Yeah, what's up with that? Well, obviously, it's not going to happen. But when it does ship, the final revision will feature new noteworthy upgrades. Oh, okay, so they're going to tempt us, right? They're going to make us wait, but they're going to say, hey, we're going to make it even better. Okay? Wow, okay. Well, one is a bump in processor power from a dual-core to a quad-core CPU. Okay, well, that makes it worth the wait right there. The developers say they want to make sure the stick has as much power as they can squeeze into it without jacking up the price. Here, here. He says, finally, we are eating the cost to improve the hardware, the Matchstick team wrote in today's update, and we're passing along the benefits of improved hardware to our backers. It's a cost we are willingly paying for the promise of a better product. Okay. Okay, now that shouldn't be too hard to manage considering the team set a goal of $100,000 when the Kickstarter campaign started and managed to raise some $470,000. Okay. Now the additional time will also be used to ensure that there are no Wi-Fi connectivity issues. I hate that when that happens, you know. Similar products have run into wonky Wi-Fi behavior that seemed to stem from the location of most HDMI ports on HDTV. So the Matchstick team has been spending considerable time looking at ways to improve the antenna and maintain consistent connections. Okay, so that's good. Now on the software side, Matchstick is getting DRM. Everybody hates DRM. What do you mean? What are they putting?
Well, it's
Keurig. We just talked about Keurig last night and saying how could they put DRM on coffee cups, and now they're going to be improving Matchstick and they're adding DRM. How is that an improvement?
because it's Amazon. Amazon is all about their own private environment, and the more DRM they put out, the more closed of an ecosystem it's going to be, and the more you have to rely on Amazon in the end.
Well, here's the reason. They say, this is so content providers like Netflix will be on board with the project. Although the team is also hoping for community members to get involved. Okay. So, you know, I guess this is how they're going to tempt Netflix. I mean, Netflix now uses Chromecast, which, by the way, does not use any DRM. Chromecast doesn't use any digital rights management. It just works. But I guess if they want to entice companies like Netflix to make their product compatible with theirs, so they don't have to reverse engineer it, you know, and just do it themselves. I guess this is why they're adding digital rights management. I'm sure this company and Keurig are going to, you know, really love each other. Can you imagine? What do you think the guys over at Matchstick are going to crowd around when they want to get coffee in the morning and they find out they can't use their K-cups because they have DRM on them? With that,
I'm just picturing all those commercials of people throwing their technology out windows, and it's just and then they throw it out the window, crashes to the ground, explodes. Pretty much like that.
Yeah. What's with this DRM? You know. All right. Now the article goes on to say, well, why this matters. Okay. The two things that make Matchstick stand out from competing streaming sticks like Chromecast are price and an open platform. See, backers will get their Matchsticks at no additional cost despite the beefier feature set, but the developers haven't said if the Matchstick's retail price will go up. Aha. Matchstick also runs the risk of scaring away potential buyers if it goes crazy with DRM. Yes, that's what I'm saying. Part of the selling point is that Firefox OS is open software. And so the developers need to prove that any DRM going into the Matchstick is truly for the greater good, like getting Netflix support. Yeah, it's for the greater good. Okay, well, Netflix support. I guess that's the only... I mean, Netflix is going to play hardball. I guess they have to. But, you know, I don't get that because Chromecast doesn't use DRM, and yet you can still get Netflix on it. What's up with that? Go figure. Anyway... DRM isn't going away. It's still here, rearing its ugly head in K-cups and Matchsticks, and
it's the arms race. And right now, the current arms is, hey, the more DRM, the more protection, the slower the hackers are. But of course, the hackers will always overcome it, and DRM is just going to get more and more of a hassle until they come up with some other way. So,
you know, I wish I was at that hacker meeting that they figured a way around the K-cup DRM. A piece of Scotch tape.
That doesn't sound like it takes a meeting, though, does it?
No, evidently.
No, it just takes a guy with some Scotch tape.
Yeah, Scotch, that's all it takes. All right.
He's probably experimenting. He's like, hey, what happens if you can't read it properly? Scotch
Mm.
tape.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Mm.
All right, so this one's actually really cool. This is the first time I've heard about this, and don't get me wrong, there are probably higher megapixels out there when you get into taking pictures of space and stuff like that. I think we reported on like some photo of space that was like 1.1 gigapixels, but this is a consumer level, not one for scientists or anything like that, and it's Canon. Yeah, you remember them? They make cameras. Canon announces a 50 megapixel DSLR and all new flagship Rebels.
50? 50. 50
megapixels.
That's insane.
Most cameras nowadays come with 6 or 10 or maybe even 12 megapixels. This is way higher.
Well, this is if you want to count the hairs of on a fly on the wall, you could probably do that with this camera. You could blow it up and
hairs on a fly on a wall 50 feet in the background. Yes.
Hairs on its legs.
Pretty much. So in the run-up to next week's CP Plus Photo Show in Yokohama, Japan, Canon has announced a little something for everyone. 2 new full-frame DSLRs will push image resolution to bold new heights, while a pair of new EOS Rebel DSLRs are likely to make some serious mainstream waves.
Mm-hmm.
So, the new full-frame DSLRs cracked the 50 megapixel mark. Mm-hmm. So, starting in the upper reaches of the sensor size and resolution, the new cameras are the latest additions to Canon's professional full-frame stable. Both cameras have 50.6 megapixel sensors. Wow. The main difference is that the 5DS has a more busting optical low-pass filter. I'm sure people who are into cameras know what that means. Yep. While the 5DSLR does not. It's a trend that started with Nikon's D800, D800E a few years back, and the idea being the lack of an anti-alias filter makes image sharper. Mm-hmm. So these new cameras set a new bar for resolution compared to those 36.3 megapixel Nikons, which was the previous best consumer megapixel count. Mm. So we went straight from 36.3 past 50.
Yeah, but look at the cost of these cameras. You see what they're charging for them?
They are, now you should have had you should have had some kind of alarm go off in your head when I said professional, because these are obviously for professionals or hobbyists or people who need a serious camera. So yes, they'll fit in your hand. Yes, they'll take 50 megapixel images, but at the cost of about $3,700 for the body only. That's not for new lenses. That's not for a stand. That's not for. I doubt that even comes with a strap. It's
you're buying that's like, oh, you're buying a car. It's only $15,000, but oh, you want an engine? Oh, well, that's going to cost you. I mean, you want tires?
You joke, but that's what I'm sure. You go to Lamborghini, Porsche, what have you, whatever your high-end car model is, and you start with the base, and then you do add-ons. It's the same thing. The base for this camera, though, is probably about 10, 15 times what a normal camera would cost.
Yeah.
But $3,700, you're going to get the best camera on the market.
Yeah. You know, I'll stick with my iPhone. The camera on there is good enough for what I need.
Oh, no. I've always had a fascination with DSLRs. I've actually done some write-ups about them and learned about them. Mm-hmm. And the camera quality, you could easily compare it to solid-state drives and traditional magnetic hard drives. Mm-hmm. Well, no, you can't even do that, just because DSLRs, you think is old technology and it's been around for a while, but the quality of pictures that you get with them are so much better than anything you can get with a smartphone. So there's a reason that professionals use them. Now, if you're just taking everyday pictures and you want your pictures good enough, go for it. Your camera the camera in your phone will do everything you need. But these DSLRs that cost $3,000, $4,000, they're going to take crazy good pictures, crazy good pictures. And if you're a photographer and if you're photographing people and things like that, it's just going to be that wow factor.
Yeah, I'll tell you wow, especially when I saw that price.
You gotta look at it like an investment. Go take a couple wedding photo shoots, and it'll pay for itself in no time. That's the purpose of these kind of cameras.
Yeah.
So, so $3,700 and $3,900, and then the next one is they also have 2 more in their Rebel lineup, and these have a 24.2 megapixel
Yeah.
and camera sensor, which is like half of the other one, and both capture 1080p video at 30 frames and 24 frames per second. And they offer HDR video mode and a few extras, according to Canon. The company says that the T6 has deeper manual controls in video mode and a mic in port. Good if you're trying to shoot a movie and you want like an external mic. But the spec sheet for both cameras are a bit less clear. So they have some really nice things that I'm sure if I knew anything more about cameras. 19-point phase contrast detection autofocus system, 1/4000th of a second shutter speed, and continuous shooting clips of 5 frames per second.
Ben.
Cool.
You know what? You had me at 19-point phase contrast detection autofocus system.
Oh, I don't know who didn't just drool at the sound of that of those words that mean something. But yeah, no. For the Rebel lineup, they're probably the more middle of the road. They cost $1,200 for the kit lens and the camera, or you can just get the standard kit lens and the camera for $900. So that's probably somewhere closer to what you were thinking for a good DSLR camera, not about $1,000.
Yeah.
But if you want top of the line, best you can get, look into the new Canon 50 megapixel DSLR.
Okay. Well, there it is. Oh.
Only $4,000 later.
Yeah. Okay. Apple said to be working on web TV service like Dish's Sling TV. Now this is cool. I mean, come on. I mean, how long are they going to string us along here? Apple, come on. You started talking about Apple TV how long ago? You know?
They won't let it die. They want the attention. They want the attention.
Okay, so now they said to be working on a web TV service like Dish's Sling TV. You know, Apple is talking with TV programs about offering an internet-based paid TV service, according to a report from Recode. Apple's long-awaited TV service may finally be getting a jolt. Yeah, I'll believe it when I see it, but the product still may not be available anytime soon. No fooling. Okay. They say Apple's in talks with TV programmers about offering a web-based pay TV service, much like Dish's Sling TV product and Sony's upcoming service, according to reports from Recode. You know, which cited unnamed industry executives. You know, this couldn't be any more murky. You know, if I hadn't seen this coming from CNET, you know, which is a very reputable news source, you know, I would have just said I wouldn't have bought this. Apple wouldn't offer an entire TV lineup, but would bundle certain programming and sell it directly to customers over the internet. That means Apple won't be reinventing the way TV works today, but offering its own version of it with its own interface and user experience. This is again according to Recode. Now, Apple supposedly has shown programmer demos, but talks are still in the early stages. You know, this means we're not going to see anything, you know, in 2015. The way they're talking about this, we won't see anything like this until 2017, 2018. You know, I mean, this is so pre and existing announcement. I can't believe this, that we're getting suckered again. We're getting rid of, Apple is doing it to us again. Come on, jeez. What?
Why are we getting suckered? That they're announcing things a year and a half in advance?
More, 3 years in advance. I would
3 years in advance.
If it's even going to happen, you know. I mean,
that's, you know, now that you bring it up, it makes a lot of sense. Apple has been doing this a lot lately. I mean, just think about the Apple Watch. They tease that like a year ahead of time, and it's just a smartwatch. Even though it might be the sleekest, sexiest kind of smartwatch you'd ever seen, it's still just a smartwatch. It's probably only going to go for a couple $100s, and yet they announced it a year ahead of time.
When did Steve Jobs die? Because for 2 or 3 years before his death, he's talking about Apple TV, and that was how long ago? No, come on, I'm not buying this. Sorry, I mean, CNET, thank you, we love your service, but you know, I'm not buying this. I'm not. You know.
Well, they do have an Apple TV, but I think what they're talking about is an Apple Smart Television.
Yeah, right. Well, yes, there is an Apple TV, but that's that little box thing. That's not really a TV. It just hooks it up in the...
Which is doing well.
Yeah, I mean,
Doing well.
it's like it's a competitor with a Roku and all that stuff. It's $99. But they haven't updated its $99 Apple TV hardware since the third generation device launched back in March of 2012. But millions of customers have continued to buy the product that started out as a hobby. The CEO, Tim Cook, didn't say anything more about complete TV offerings. Okay, here's a quote. At the sake of repeating myself, it's something that we could continue to look at and work on and find a way that we can make an even greater contribution than what we're doing. This is according to Tim Cook. Okay. But anyway, back to Dish's Sling TV, which is a reality, and it's here. It's a $20 per month live TV package with 12 channels, including ESPN, TNT, CNN, HGTV, we all know what that stands for, and the Disney Channel. The new alternative TV package, which streams channels over the internet, is targeted at cash-strapped millennials and people who never had a pay TV subscription versus cord cutters who are planning to cancel their current service. So that's pretty much it. So I'm saying Apple, great. When you come out with your Apple TV, I'll be there to watch it. But in the meantime, don't string me along. I'm tired of it.
I've never thought I'd see the day Craig was so jaded with Apple.
Well, come on. You don't do so much. It's crazy. All right, what do you got? What do you got for us?
The next one. I actually have. Good question. I was going to do this 10 things you should never do to your PC, but more of a slideshow kind of thing, and we'll save that for a little bit later. But I think instead we're going to do. How about this one? This one is all over the place, and when I say all over the place, it was on every single. It was on every single website that I found because I pull stories from all over, and this one was on every single one. And apparently, it was reported by the Wall Street Journal, and everyone kind of just took it from there. So the particular one that I chose was from Gadget because it's short and sweet. So what? Oh, whoa, wait. No, wrong one. Here we go. Oh, I'm sorry. The links are crossed, but apparently Netflix. Yes, you know Netflix. They're the overlords of the internet data. They are coming out soon with a Legends of Zelda television series.
No way.
Dang it, I'm going to say it. If the Green Arrow can get one, if the Flash can get one, if all of these mediocre comic book junk characters.
Mediocre.
Well, I said junk.
Arrow's mediocre. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
I said junk. If they can all get one, then why can't Legends of Zelda, one of the best RPG story games out there, with such a long past, with such a rich story behind it, just because it's a video game, why can't they get a television series? And finally, Netflix has decided to, yes, we're going to do this.
Okay. All right.
So, and I keep clicking the link. So, yeah, just stay tuned for that. It's probably going to launch later this year. But oh wait, I think I just found the problem. Yep, I found it. So yeah, Netflix recently announced it's raising $1.5 billion to fund new content, and a new rumor suggests that one of the projects it could spend that dough on. The Wall Street Journal says that the streaming company is working with Nintendo to develop a live-action Legend of Zelda series, just in time for that expansion to Japan, which someone in the know described as Game of Thrones for a family audience. While we're pretty sure that person has been watching Game of Thrones closely enough, the most surprising thing we've learned today is that the animated Zelda series only ran for one season back in '89. Yes, that's the last time they tried to adapt Legend of Zelda to any kind of television. Was let's see, '89, so that's 26 years ago.
Okay.
And they're finally taking another crack at it. And what they're talking about the expansion to Japan is Netflix announced that the next country it's going to expand to, not invade, is Japan. And Japan is going to be getting Netflix, their own service, and that means their own content. So they're thinking that this is one of the moves to appeal to the Japanese market.
Okay.
Although, let's face it, I think markets all over the world are going to enjoy a nice Legends of Zelda television show.
Okay. I'm not a big gamer, so I don't let you know.
Fine. No, whatever. I mean, if Netflix said, "Oh yeah, no, we're raising $1.5 billion, and one of the shows we're making is a brand new Batman television series,
I'm
and
there.
we're gonna have all A-list stars,"
Yeah. You know what?
you'd be all over the place, be like, "Oh my gosh, yay Netflix!" But no, it's Nintendo.
No.
I'm just saying, I can't wait till next Tuesday in our gamer show. Grayson Hamilton is going to be over the moon. There we go. That's a good phrase. He's going to be so elated to hear that Legends of Zelda is getting its own television series.
You know what? I would be impressed if they came out with the Solitaire channel. Now I would be there. I'd love that.
Whoa, wait, what? What'd you say?
The Solitaire channel. It's all about Solitaire. Because that's the game that
you back on Solitaire more than anyone I know. It's a card game. It's basic. It's simple, and yet you bag on it. It does its job beautifully. You need to pick on some other games.
I like the Solitaire channel. Okay. Researchers warn of a 0-day vulnerability in Internet Explorer 11. Are people still using Internet Explorer 11? I thought they played taps over that. I hate that. There it is. That's where it should go. Hackers have a new security hole to go fishing in. Yeah, right. If you use Internet Explorer 11, be aware that researchers have discovered a 0-day vulnerability that could allow attackers to change content on domains remotely. Ooh. The exploit could allow hackers to inject malicious content in browsers, steal personal data, and track your online movements. That's the bad news. And the good? Well, you're unlikely to fall prey to such an attack, according to Microsoft, because nobody's using it. To successfully exploit this issue, an adversary would first need to lure a person, often through trickery such as phishing, to a malicious website that they've created. See, it's social engineering. Microsoft said in a statement, Smart Screen, which is on by default in newer versions of Internet Explorer, helps protect against nefarious phishing websites. Microsoft also said that it's not aware of the vulnerability being actively exploited at this time, and that it's working on a fix which will dole out in a future update. I wonder if that's going to be what's the new browser they're coming out with Windows 10?
Project Spartan.
Spartan. Yeah. My advice is, chuck Internet Explorer 11, wait for Spartan, and then or just use Firefox or Chrome. Or maybe even Opera. Oh, we have a show reminder word of the week coming up in a moment, right after these commercial messages. And a news tips bulletin review from Marty Winston. Stay tuned for more Computer America. Looking for a best friend? Brother Wolf Animal Rescue has your best friend waiting just for you. The mission is to protect and enhance the lives of companion animals and the people who love them. Their no-kill rescue shelter is open year-round, making it easy for people to adopt their best new friend. This year, Brother Wolf will find homes for over 2,400 orphan dogs, puppies, cats, and kittens. All have ended up as an orphan through no fault of their own. Brother Wolf has created a safe, nurturing environment where these special animals can heal emotionally and physically until they find a lifelong home. Their life-saving transport program brings dogs and puppies from overcrowded shelters in the south to rescues in the north where homes are easier to find. Brother Wolf Animal Rescue is a 501c3 organization. To learn more about their life-saving work and to make a donation, visit their website at www.bwar.org. That's www.bwar.org. Help to realize Brother Wolf's vision when no animal is euthanized for lack of a home.
Who's the good boy?
Don't complain about your cable bill going up and up and up. Do something about it. Grab a pencil and jot down this special number. 1-866-663-MyTV. The more cable TV rates go up, the better digital satellite TV looks. So, disable the cable and get more of your favorite channels in 100% digital quality for less money. Call 1-866-663-MyTV right now to sign up for packages starting as low as $19.99 and up to 4 rooms. And there's no equipment to buy. That includes your free HD TV upgrade, your free DVR upgrade, and your free professional installation. And the best part, the pristine digital picture and sound. Call 1-866-663-MyTV. So, what are you waiting for? Pull out your major credit or debit card. Call 1-866-663-MyTV. 1-866-663-MyTV. Disable the cable, cut costs, and get more. Call 1-866-663-MyTV. 1-866-663-MyTV.
Aw, were you waiting for me? Hi, it's Marty Winston with a News Tips Bulletin Review for Computer America. This time, the PortaPow USB Power Monitor version 2. Now, you may have had an inkling that those Woolworths and Power Pucks feeding their USB gear may have fudged their specs a bit. But how can you be sure? Underpowering or power-starving some kinds of gear, like USB drives, can have some bad consequences, like head crashes. So we got in the PortaPow USB Power Monitor version 2 about the size of a chunky chocolate. It has a short attached USB-A male for plugging into the power source and a USB-A female for the power consumer, which can be either gear or a resistive dummy load. A front button backlights the 3-line LCD that tells you the source voltage between 3 and 7 volts DC. USB spec is 5 volts. The amount of current being delivered between 0 and 2.5 amps. The amount of power at DC, that's voltage in volts times current in amps to yield power in watts, being drawn. Bottom line, anytime the performance versus specs of USB products gets suspicious, a PortaPow version 2 USB power monitor is auspicious. This is Marty Winston with a News Tips Bulletin Review for Computer America.
Welcome back to the Computer America Show, or should I say the Singing Craig Show. It is 33 minutes past the hour in the second hour on a Friday, and that means, yes, our friends over at Logitech like giving stuff away, and yes, this is the time they like to give it away. So,
all right, so we're going to do our show reminder winner of the week. And this week's show reminder winner is Al Reinholtz. Al Reinholtz, you did it, buddy. You won. Al got it. He wins the Logitech Wireless Rechargeable Touchpad T650, valued at $80. All right, and you know, it works with all the Windows gestures. It's a beautiful touchpad, really. I mean, it's made out of glass. Beautiful touchpad. You can check it out and look at it for yourself over at ComputerAmerica.com. When you sign up for our weekly show reminder. Again, it's free. And who knows? You know, we're going to give another one away next week. You know. But congratulations, Al. You're our winner this week here on Computer America. So congratulations to you. Ben and I are doing computer technology news brought to you by Slimmer Utilities.
Yep. And the next story is mine.
Yes, it is. It's all yours. You can claim it.
All mine. So I'm gonna do this list from this one actually from PC Gamer, and it has a few good tips in here that everyone should remember once in a while, and maybe take a Saturday off and really give TLC to your computer. It would love it. So these are 10 things you should never do to your PC. The first one is never forget to clean it, because let me tell you, even myself, I've opened up my own computers, and they look like gerbils have crawled inside and just fell over. There is so much dust and dog hair and other animals inside a computer that it will cause your computer to overheat, it can cause your computer to crash, and it can cause all kinds of slowing down. So if you haven't cleaned your computer in like 3 years, might want to grab the canned air and have at it. Yeah, it's going to take more than canned air, I think, if you have a Newfoundland. I mean, they you know. It's a start. It's a start. Yeah.
We had our air conditioning cleaned out. You wouldn't. We found like enough hair for 4 dogs in there. It's amazing.
Yeah, for sure.
True. If you have animals, you got to, and you have computers. Ben is right. You got to clean them out, on a regular basis. Otherwise, you're gonna die on you. So
They slow down, they overheat, causes instability, can crash. It's just not a good thing. Take some time, clean it out. The next one.
Did you see the picture of the guy cleaning his hard drive with a screwdriver in the first picture?
Yeah, no, it's things you shouldn't do. And the first one is, of course, hey, don't scratch your hard drive.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't scratch your hard drive platters, even more so.
Okay.
So the next one is don't plug your computer directly into the wall.
No.
Always try to go through a surge protector, or even better, an uninterruptible power supply.
Of course.
Either one will work beautifully, and they will both keep your computer from being damaged by those random blackouts or something like that. If your computer suddenly shorts for some reason, have it through a surge protector, and it will protect your computer from tons of things that come through the wall. You'd be surprised how many people fry their hard drives or even their motherboards because they have it plugged into an outlet like it was some kind of lamp.
Okay.
The next one is don't clean.
I love this next one.
Yeah, don't clean your display with a solvent. Instead, use either a dry towel, or if you definitely have some kind of Dorito dust or whatnot on your monitor, use a damp washcloth with just water. Damp, not running, not dripping, nothing, but damp water and a washcloth.
Leave the Windex where it is, in other words. And they said don't spit on your monitor. And they said, well, actually, spit might be okay. You can spit on your screen. You can clean your screen by spitting on it, but don't use cleaning chemicals. You can spit on your mouse too. Basically, you can spit on everything, but don't use Windex. Unlike was it my big fat Greek wedding? He used Windex to clean everything, to cure scratches and bites. He was really big on Windex. But according to the PC Gamer, just spit on it.
Yeah, just solvents. Not like 1 or 2 times is going to hurt it, but over the life of your monitor, it will wear through the plastics in your monitor, and it will destroy them before their time.
And you are very aware of the incredible cleaning power and solvency of mom spit.
Oh yeah, no, it's dangerous stuff. The next one is shove the CD tray closed, and I got to read this one straight from the article. How did you open the CD tray? By ramming a crowbar into the crack and prying it open, by bear hugging it until it popped out, by banging on the case with a rock until smashed and sputtering it finally ejected. No, you use the button. Use the same button to close it, you caveman. Because I'll admit, I actually do this one myself. I'll use the button to open it, and then I'll just kind of gently push it until it starts closing on its own. I do that.
Yeah, well, you see, the earlier versions, way back when CDs they weren't designed that way. Every CD designed in the 2000s, if you push it gently, it'll close. It has the circuitry to do that. But in the olden days, when they first came out, actually that was a bad thing. You had to use the button. But so many people were ruining CDs. They said, okay, let's make it so if you push it in, it'll also close. And they do. But, of course, I haven't used a CD. Ask me the last time I used a CD.
Greg, when was the last time you used a CD?
What year were you born in?
91.
Yeah, there it is. I think 91. Yeah, I mean, I haven't used CD in this day and age of digital media, digital distribution, downloading. I mean, CDs they're an anachronism. You don't need them anymore. It's like floppy disks. Really, get over it. Get on, download it. Forget CDs. Most new computers don't even come with a CD. Apple with their computers, there's no CD. There's no floppy disk. There's no CD. Everything is in solid state, and the operating system comes on a already installed or on a flash memory stick. Well,
if you ever do find yourself using a CD drive.
Okay.
By the way, you know who else was born on my birthday?
Who was born on your birthday?
Elvis Presley.
Stephen
Hawking.
Uh-huh.
And
Stephen
Kim
Hawking.
Jong Un.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I didn't know that. I am among great men. Who knew?
Well, I don't know if great is the third one is great.
Stephen Hawking's great.
Yeah, but the Kim Jong Un, no.
You know, these things happen. So, did you know Stephen Hawking was 73?
No, I did not.
He's old.
Yeah, evidently, and he's still alive too. Good for him.
Yep. Okay, so the next one on the list of top 10 things you should not do is this one. They say just don't do it with games, but really anything. If anything is updating or automatically updating, automatically saving, automatically backing up, don't turn your computer off.
Well, you know, it's interesting they say that because with today's modern operating systems, if you're doing a backup, it won't allow you to turn it off. The only way you would turn it is to pull the plug or something. But if you hit the power switch, you know, the power switches are not mechanical anymore. It's just a signal it's sends to the computer, and the operating system won't let you power it down if it's doing some sort of backup or something that's critical. It'll wait till it finishes it, and then it will power it down without you having to do with it. I guess what they're saying here is that if you just don't pull the plug if it's writing, because that's a disaster. Yeah, that you can really fry your hard drive that way.
Yep. And real quick before we get back to the article, we actually have a question in the chat room asking, other than running a CD lens cleaner through a laptop DVD drive, is there anything else I can do to make it play DVDs better? And we recommend Cheetah Blood or some kind of lubricant, you know, think butter or olive oil, extra virgin, of course, or you know, to other than the CD drive optical cleaner, just to keep the head clear and the reader clean. There really isn't that much you can do with the drive. Maybe open it up and spray it out with, again, canned air to get any kind of dust out. But at the end of the day, it just if it skips or anything like that, it's just the reader itself. Unless, Craig, you have any kind of recommendations?
No, I don't. Stay away from Windex.
Yeah, stay away from Windex. That too.
I'll finish these out while you do.
Okay.
And that is the next thing of the 10 things you should never do to your computer from PC gamers. Mix your recyclables. You know, have you just been dragging everything to the same recycle bin on your desktop? You know, PNGs, AVIs, Word docs, JPEGs. You know, basically that empty new folder and that QuickTime shortcut that always seems to reappear that about halfway writing it. You know, writing on your computer. You know, it says you need to sort these files into separate bins to protect the environment of your computer. You don't want to start a new text file and discover it's made from recycled Weezer MP3s, do you? You know, gross. Install drivers or do anything without restarting. Oh, that's a bad one. You know, we all know to save our work often, but are you restarting after every save? Well, you should be. Realistically, you should be restarting your computer about once every 30 seconds or so to keep it running smoothly. Now, Microsoft has recognized this common user error, which is why Windows 8 doesn't ask before restarting for updates. Ideally, Windows 10 will automatically restart every time you update an Adobe product, close a tab in Chrome, or open Steam. You know, it's interesting because Apple, when you get an update, or update alert from the system, it'll tell you which updates you can do and which updates require a restart. So if you want to, you know, you can upload your copy of Solitaire and who knows what other apps, and that won't require you to restart your system. But if there's some sort of security update coming up, it's going to say, well, if you want that one, you're going to have to reboot your system, and you have to do it right away. Okay. Here's another one of the 10 things that you don't want to do. And that is remove a USB drive without proper equipment.
See, I remove USBs all the time.
Yeah, he says don't reuse it with your fingers. He says not only will you break the drive, improper USB handling results in 2,800 emergency room visits a year in the U.S. alone. What happened? I tried to remove my USB drive. Okay. Emergency room for you.
Weird. Yeah, so just kind of wrapping up this this story here because we kind of want to move on to the next one.
Yeah.
Upload your. Apparently, the next one on the list is upload your mind into it, which is something you don't want to do with your PC. So the concept of uploading your thoughts and memories into a computer is an appealing one. It might someday let us live beyond your years in a robotic body. That has been the dream for many people. That is the dream of technology, transcending your own physical body. But our planet's greatest minds could be preserved for the future generations. It may even provide a way for human minds to survive interstellar voyages. I'm just saying, why can't this be like WALL-E with everyone on a spaceship, and then by the time you get there, you're like 15 generations down the line?
I think this article is done.
Yeah, me too. Okay, so Craig, your turn.
Yes, I know. Google is giving Chromecast owners a gift. That's right. If you own a Chromecast, you're going to get a gift from Google. $6 in Play Store credit. That's right. If you own a Chromecast, this is real, I'm not making this up, Google just gave you $6 to spend at the Play Store on movies, music, and more. All you have to do is head over to the Chromecast offers page and connect to your personal dongle. From there, you'll be able to see the available offers, and one of those should be the aforementioned sum. Just don't say the folks at Mountain View never gave you anything. That's it. So there you go. $6 free in store credit, and you don't have to be a new Google Chromecast owner. If you have one, you got $6 waiting for you.
I wonder if they're trying to grease the wheels.
What?
Just trying to get things going, because it's I could totally see a world where you use a Chromecast dongle, but you use it for like 3 or 4 applications, and then you never go back to the web store. Do you think they're trying to give people some money to go back to the web store to try to get people to start thinking about buying other apps?
It's possible, although Chromecast isn't hurting.
Like, Craig, you have a Chromecast, right?
Yeah, I do.
How often do you go to the App Store?
Never.
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 And if you find out that you have $6 free to spend on anything you want,
I will go there just to see what that $6 is.
That's what I'm thinking is they're trying to accomplish, to get people to actually go and visit the store, and maybe, hey, that actually costs $10, not $6. Let me put $4 in and get this thing. They're trying to grease the wheels.
It could be. It could very well be, and it'll be a clever way to do it. Because I've never been there, but for $6 I might go over there and check it out.
$6, and if you find something appealing for $4.99 or even $1, heck, why not?
I get $2 extra. Sounds like I'm in. Count me in.
For sure. So this next one, for anyone who is a Verizon user, you may no longer be a Verizon user. So Frontier Communications will pick up part of Verizon's landline business, while American Tower will pick up the rights to 11,300 cellular towers. Okay, to put this into money speak, money dollars, money. 11,300 cellular towers and some of their landline business. They sell it for $15.5 billion. That's not the company going out of business. That's not the company liquidating everything. That's Verizon saying, hey, we don't need this many cell towers. Here, give us $15.5 billion and you can have them. It's crazy. Wow. So the nation's largest wireless provider said Thursday that it has agreed to sell its local wireline operations in California, Florida, and Texas to Frontier Communications for $10.5 billion. Verizon also agreed to lease the rights to 11,300 company-owned cell towers and sell 165 more to American Tower in a separate deal worth $5 billion. Man.
A lot of money.
That's crazy numbers.
Yes, it is.
Although, I guess that means, assuming from the article, California, Florida, and Texas, Verizon will no longer be an option.
Yeah. So
for at least their local wireline operations, so that kind of thing. But I'm sure for cell phones and things like that, they will be. So as a result of the transaction, Verizon also said it would begin a new $5 billion stock buyback program. Yay, stockholders. So Verizon said it would use the proceeds from the tower deal to reduce its term loan, which is helping to fund the spectrum purchase, The wireline proceeds will go toward reducing debt, so a company taking care of itself. After shedding those assets, Verizon landline business will be located only on the East Coast, centered on its New York headquarters. The assets that Frontier will acquire include 3.7 million voice customers, 2.2 million DSL customers. They still have those? And they still have 2 million of those?
That's right.
Oh, DSL, what's up? And $1.6 million, 1.6 million FiOS internet customers and 1.2 million FiOS video customers.
Well, FiOS, so that's fast. That's fiber.
Oh yeah, no, their fiber optic service was actually some of the fastest out there.
Yes, it is.
So Verizon is keeping wireline operations that still serve 16.1 million wireline voice connections, 7 million DSL customers. Oh man, DSL, we're sorry.
Yeah.
5.1 million FiOS internet connections and 5 million FiOS video customers.
Okay.
That's it.
All right.
$15 billion back in the pocket.
They're going to close the deal to American Tower by the middle of the year.
Yep.
Well, there it is.
Oh wow, and I'm definitely gonna look this up. But apparently, one of our listeners in the chat room mentioned that Facebook recently bought WhatsApp. It's a popular, Snapchat, that kind of thing, just a good app for talking. Apparently, they purchased WhatsApp for $20 billion.
No way.
$20 billion.
20 billion with a B for an app?
I'm gonna go look it up, but yeah, it's if that's true, WhatsApp has been just all the rage. It's gotten so many subscribers lately, and it was actually pulling subscribers away from Facebook in general because people were keeping in touch there instead of on Facebook.
No, Facebook bought them.
Yeah, Facebook just bought them out.
Wow, 20 billion? Boy, head over to Tahiti with a little umbrella. Yeah, that's just insane.
Yep, and apparently WhatsApp is now also developing a and it turns out, oh, I'm sorry, that was actually later last year. Facebook bought WhatsApp for $19 billion, and apparently using that application because WhatsApp, it wasn't completely killed off. WhatsApp is actually incorporated into Facebook, and they're going to start working on internet voice calls. Think Skype.
Hmm.
So it's getting popular, and think about it. If Facebook has a Skype-like feature, that's just going to work out well for Facebook.
Yeah. I still can't. I'm still.
It's $19 billion though for an app that lets people talk to each other. It doesn't provide a service other than just the back and forth.
I can't get over that.
It's not an app that gives you friends for free. It's just crazy.
Yeah, I have no words. Oh.
You don't need words. You need numbers. 19 billion is the number of the day.
Do you remember the ViewMaster?
Oh yeah, I had a great Jurassic Park slide.
Yeah.
It was my favorite. It was awesome.
It was little wheels, with the little images and little slide things,
Yep.
Well, evidently, Mattel and Google are going to do something with ViewMaster.
Is this the beginnings of the new Google Glass?
It could be. With the ViewMaster top teaser, Google and Mattel invoked one of their favorite childhood memories and frequent inspiration for low-budget virtual reality shenanigans. The two are planning an exclusive announcement and product debut ahead at the New York Toy Fair next week. But other than the ViewMaster theme, there's little to go on. Mattel's Fisher-Price division tried a ViewMaster comeback for the digital age in 2012, and all trace of it is now gone. So I'm going to have to wait till next Friday when we have another show reminder of the week to see for ourselves what they're planning. But we invite your wildest speculation, So what do you think? I think it's going to be an Oculus Rift ViewMaster.
Oculus Rift ViewMaster.
Yes. So,
Oculus Rift is owned by Facebook, right? Not by Google.
Maybe they'll have a partnership with them.
Mm-hmm.
Or it'll be an Oculus Rift-like ViewMaster. It'll put it on your head.
Maybe they're developing some kind of children's toy just to get people used, or just get kids used to the idea of something like Google Glass, where it'll be some kind of hold up to your eyes like a ViewMaster, but it's going to be, of course, it's going to have technology inside of it where it's going to be like a HUD that you kind of look through, and you can put different kinds of HUDs up. Like
maybe you can have Barbie's VR dream house.
No, like I really do think it's Mattel and Google pushing a game or a piece of technology that's going to help kids cope with the idea of a heads-up display or something like that. Because get them early, get them hooked early, and you have a customer for life. I know that's like thing for crack cocaine, but it works for technology as well.
Yeah, it does. Viewmaster, boy, I remember that. That brings that's a blast from the past. Anyway, next Friday we'll talk about it when they unveil it. We'll tell you what they're cooking.
Yeah, for sure. And the last one, real quick, last one, promise. Ars Technica, we've talked about it before, but apparently it happened yet again, and I hope they get the guy. Apparently, a gamer on Twitch, he's live streaming to 60,000 people. Gets swatted.
What happened? He got swatted?
Yeah, they called the cops, and he was and a SWAT team came in and took him out, or like I say, took him out. Arrested him live on his stream to 60,000 people.
Well, he must have been really unhappy.
Yep. So 10 gun-toting SWAT team members were at the door, which was answered by his 10-year-old brother. That's not something you want to open. And so yeah, it's happened before. It's gonna happen again, but unfortunately, like there's a video of it happening live, and it's a sad trend. Doesn't need to happen. People could get killed doing something like this.
Do they have the video? You can actually see. You can actually watch it happening when they break in.
Yeah, no, it's on YouTube. It's a heartbreaking response from a veteran whose home was swatted. So yeah, apparently the guy was also a veteran. So.
Wow. Okay. Oh. Well, listen. We're coming to the end of the show, and this was a lot of fun. And again, I want to thank the CEO and president and founder of LC Technology International, Dave Zimmerman, for being with us in the first hour. Interesting program, and thanks to him for being on the show. Of course, the weekend is upon us, and then what are we going to have on Monday? We're going to have two companies.
90
the
seconds.
First one is called Incentive, and basically they it's like how can I say they offer.
They provide incentives, so you can incentivize your incentives.
Social collaboration, okay?
Oh, okay.
And what makes social collaboration so important in the workplace and that type of thing? And they're going to be talking about that and what they're doing to improve it. And then in the
60 seconds.
Second hour, we're going to have a company called SiteLock on the show, okay? And it basically
it locks your site so you can see locks.
That's right. Hey, have a great weekend. Ben and I are going to be back here on Monday night. Catch a movie. Oh, go out and catch Jupiter Rising. I'm gonna
Ascending.
Yeah, exactly.
Jupiter Ascending.
It's ascending. Why did I think it was rising? Oh. Ascending and rising, it's similar. Synonyms. Okay.
Silly.
Yeah. All right, well, that wraps it up. Thanks so much for being with us here tonight. And Ben and I will see you here, right here, Monday night. So until Monday night, this is Craig Crossman hoping that your hard disk never becomes floppy. We'll see you Monday night.
Good night, everyone.
10 seconds.
Good night, everybody.
Thank you for using Blog Talk Radio. Goodbye.
All right, everybody. Thanks again for being here. That's Zach that you're watching.
Yep. Thank you for joining us yet again on another great Friday show.
And the one with the little spots all over his nose, that's Ben. So,
it's funny.
I know. I know. It is comedy. Hey, have a great weekend. We'll see you on Monday. Thanks for watching. Have a good one. Bye-bye. Good night.